Weather for Weather Geeks is back. It is Monday, June 23rd. Thank you for watching my online-only in-depth weather video that I do 5 days a week when I'm working, and sometimes on the weekend and sometimes in the morning as well. If you're new to these videos, this is kind of a behind-the-scenes look at what I'm looking at before I present my forecast on the TV side, but it's also a way for me to get more in-depth with the weather coverage because I only have a couple of minutes each newscast to bring you weather information, and I've got a lot more to say than that, so that's why I do these videos. All right, I was at the American Meteorological Society's annual broadcaster conference last week. It was out in Lake Tahoe, California. If you don't know where that is, it's right about here, right on the border of California and Nevada. Beautiful, beautiful place, up at about 6,000 feet in elevation. It was crisp and cool. The mornings were down in the 30s. There was frost one morning. The afternoons were in the 70s, and it was spectacularly sunny. And the conference was pretty good as well. Learned all sorts of great stuff and met some interesting colleagues from all around the country. But we're back, and here in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania, it is warm outside this afternoon. We're going to talk about the current weather in just a second. With 1 week left to go in June, I thought it'd be a good time to pause and take a look at the past quickly. This map is the temperature anomaly map for the month of June so far. The warm colors, the oranges, in other words, that's where it's been warmer than average so far this month, and then the blues and the greens are where it's been below average so far this June through about 3 weeks or so. And there's no big surprises here. The Southwest has been warmer than average where the big drought continues. And here in Ohio and Western Pennsylvania, we have been about a degree to, in some spots, 2 degrees above average. And if this holds through the end of the month, and it looks like it will, this will make it 2 consecutive months of above average temperatures, actually 3, I believe. I think April was actually above average as well. So we've come a long way since that very, very cold winter. January, February, and March, the first 3 months of the year, were exceptionally colder than average, not only here, but throughout most of the Great Lakes in the Midwest. So we've turned the corner very nicely over the last couple of months. All right, here's what's going on this afternoon. I'm recording this at about 2 o'clock, and yeah, it's toasty outside. We're dry, but it's 84 in Youngstown, 82 in Newcastle, over towards the Akron-Canton Airport on the Stark-Summit County line, 86 degrees. Heat index values, 87 Youngstown, pushing 90 in some spots, and yeah, the dew points are way up there as well. Check out these dew point temperatures this afternoon, mid-60s, even upper 60s. And if you've heard me explain dew points before, you know that middle and upper 60s is where we get into the uncomfortable range. We use dew points more than relative humidity, particularly in the summer, because it's a much more descriptive, easy-to-digest way of describing what it feels like outside. The humidity in summertime can be as low as 30% on a summer afternoon, but that doesn't mean it's not humid. The dew point is a much better measure of what it actually feels like outside. All right, so again, here's the temperature map. It's pushing 90 down towards Cincy and Columbus this afternoon. Let's take off some of this information, make it a little less busy. The Storm Prediction Center out in Oklahoma is monitoring northern Indiana, eastern Illinois, and the northwestern corner of Ohio as well for a possible severe thunderstorm watch this afternoon. They say the chance of that watch being issued is about 40%. So this basically is from Toledo and Lima on west. There's one cell that's producing a severe thunderstorm warning up towards the Bryan area in northwest Ohio this afternoon. Take off the satellite. Here's a look at the radar across the rest of the country. A classic summertime look here with a smattering of thunderstorms. Lower Ohio Valley down into parts of the southeast. There's a pretty good band of storms in the panhandle of Florida. Houston getting wet this afternoon. So yeah, this map looks a lot like a typical summer map. And real quickly, I'll show you the temperature contours here, showing where it's warm, where it's hot, and where we get into some of these darker oranges and then kind of black and white. We're into the upper 80s, lower 90s this afternoon. Look at the deserts of the Southwest. Very, very hot down there, no surprise. And where I was last week, it's a comfy, cool 71 degrees right now out in Lake Tahoe. All right, let's talk about the future. If you have outdoor plans for the rest of the day today, we still have that chance of getting wet, although I think more backyards will stay dry than will get wet. Let me head back to our area. I'm going to bring up the latest and greatest high-resolution rapid refresh model. This is a real nice new model that is only used in the real short term, going out to 12, 14 hours at most. Here's the simulated radar product, and I'm going to start this at 4 o'clock this afternoon, a couple of hours from right now. This may be a little overdone. A lot of times this model does overdo thunderstorms a little bit in the summer season. but it may have the right idea in terms of the location of any potential storms. It may have too many storms on here, but the zone in which it does fire up storms may be right. So at 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, we're just going to have to keep an eye to the sky. You can check out our interactive radar, wfmj.com/weather, on your mobile app as well, the WFMJ app. Got the mobile radar on there. And of course, on Facebook and Twitter, I'll be posting radar images as things get a little more active. So here's 4 o'clock. Let's skip ahead to 5 o'clock then. There's not going to be much around. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. We're not looking at a super active evening here, but, maybe 2 out of every 10 backyards gets a thunderstorm or a quick downpour this afternoon. The coverage is not going to be great. 8 o'clock this evening, maybe a stray shower, but that should be about it. And after sunset, I don't expect a lot until we head into the overnight. So let's switch models here heading into the overnight tonight. Go to the middle of the night, about 3 in the morning here. There could be a shower or a thunderstorm around. In the middle of the night, a few of us might hear a little thunder waking us up in the wee hours. Skipping ahead to tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, probably not a lot just yet, but I do think tomorrow turns more active than today in terms of thunderstorms, particularly in the afternoon. Here's 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Get the idea here. It's far from a washout tomorrow, but the coverage of storms tomorrow will be a little more impressive than today. And some of these storms may turn a little bit strong. Here's a look at the CAPE values. This is a measure of how unstable the atmosphere is according to the model. These aren't through the roof by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, tomorrow afternoon it has a little minimum of instability around Youngstown. But there's enough instability here that, sure, thunder's a good bet in any cells that pop up. And, the potential is there for a couple of strong ones tomorrow, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of severe weather at all. So tomorrow turns a little active in the afternoon. Let's skip ahead to Wednesday then. Here's Wednesday morning, and the setup here is low pressure almost right overhead, cold front, and then a warm front. And this low pressure system is going to push off to the east by the second half of the day. So I suspect the wettest part of Wednesday morning and midday with a drying trend from west to east as we get into the afternoon and into the evening. And behind this front, a nice air mass is coming in. So here's Thursday's map. You notice there's a little green here, but this is bogus to me. I think there could be clouds around. Call it a mix of sun and clouds on Thursday. But despite the green being spit up by the model here, I don't think it's going to rain Thursday. I think it'll be a more refreshing day. Those dew points will be coming down, and that trend should continue right into Friday. Here's Friday, and this big circular area right here, that's high pressure over the northern Great Lakes, or the eastern Great Lakes. Beautiful day to wrap up the week on Friday. Heading into the upcoming weekend, and the atmosphere is probably going to moisten up on Saturday. Maybe there's a stray afternoon storm, and maybe there's a scattering of storms all weekend long. Classic summertime weekend coming up for us in the Mahoning and Shenango valleys. We'll wrap things up with a look at the longer range according to the GFS Ensemble model here. This takes us out 16 days. 4th of July is right here. And if this model has the right idea, and take any model in the longer range with a grain of salt because they get less accurate as you go out in time, but if the model has the right idea, 4th of July likely to be somewhat above average. Again, if you've never seen this graph before, average is this black line in the middle that doesn't move. And so all the white boxes that go above that line means it's forecasting above average temperatures at that time step. And then anytime, of course, they're below the line, below average. So quick look at the 4th of July suggests it's not going to be a cool one. It's probably at or a little above average. All right, that's Monday's weather for Weather Geeks. Check out my forecast tonight on 21 News at 6 and 11, and I'll see you right back here on Tuesday.